Hey guys, Baxter here, and today I'm going to showcase a fairly new paladin hunting strategy involving Sharpshooter. The concept of this style centers on the synergy between Life Leech imbuements and huge single target hits. Let's get a bit into the theory crafting. As most of us know, the new mana and Life Leech imbuements scale extremely well with large single hits versus smaller mass AoE hits. For Life Leech to be effective, you need to have a health pool large enough so that you are safe without being full health constantly. This is so you can use the Life Leech heal when your damage hits. You also need a way of healing flexible enough so that you can compensate for the inconsistency of a low damage hit. This puts Life Leech mainly into something that's best suited for Knights and Paladins. The issue I personally found with Paladins was that they really don't need this Life Leech healing. When they did use it, they didn't really use their healing spells frequently at all. Enter Sharpshooter, the Paladin's best DPS boost that previously had only seen use in team boss fights and PvP. Its biggest downside is the inability to heal during its duration, while also reducing your cutting abilities. However, it doesn't prevent potions or the healing from Life Leech, and the synergy is crazy. When I first thought of this, I laughed and thought it would be a fun way to get like a 10% XP boost, and it outperformed that substantially. Sharpshooter gives 50% more distance fighting, which means over 50% more damage, as bigger hits reduce the effectiveness of monsters' innate armor. This means 50% more healing from Life Leech while using Sharpshooter. You can make this even bigger by throwing on a damage boosting prey and some crit and by doing massive hits, which give massive heals. Now to address some downsides. The main one being the inconsistency of heals due to misses, low hits, and leech heals not being applied reactively to big monster hits. That is where potions come in. The potions at a paladin's disposal are the new ultimate spirit potions, the mind-bogglingly cheap great spirit potions, and the somehow even cheaper strong health potions. What I found to be most effective and efficient to smooth out the health spikes was taking a couple hundred great spirit potions on the hunt and using them as a mana potion when the health spikes happened. They also happen to be the cheapest mana potion per mana on the market currently in my world, so the healing portion cost is actually less than free. You just need to find a good way to utilize the healing, and here it is. And what about for the slightly bigger hits or the bad situations that we sometimes get ourselves in? You know, like maybe forgetting to refill arrows, and now you have no Life Leech and no killing monsters and you're during Sharpshooter. Yeah. So the new Ultimate Spirit Potions work fantastically there. Bring a little more than a handful to get yourselves out of jams, just like you would use great Spirit Potions in the past. And if you run a lot of Mana Leech imbues and find that you are full mana constantly, you may want to bring some strong health potions to smooth out the health spikes when you are full mana. And lastly, you may want to hunt a new spawn a few times without using Sharpshooter to get a feeling for the damage spikes you can expect so you know how to react accordingly. So there we go. Use Sharpshooter with Life Leech, get massive hits, Life Leech a ton, potion a little, maybe use damage spray to amplify these effects, and the result is you get massive XP per hour boosts. And now for a bit of the hunting style. This is where there's much ground untested, but I will give my experiences as a 180 to 190 RP doing mainly a single target DPS while cutting style. I've used this technique successfully at Grimvale, Oromon Minos, Drefia Elderworms, Krelos Nightmare Scions, and the Forgotten Knowledge Death Portal, and seen around a 25 to 45% XP per hour boost over a similar hunting technique without it. I tried Yalanhar Grims, but I'm not as experienced there much, and only saw like a 10% boost. I would say more is likely though. I aim to grab 3 to 5 monsters before using Sharpshooter, then pop it and kite slowly, either through a choke like near a door, or just trap myself to tank as few as possible and out-heal the incoming damage with Leech. You want 3 to 5 because you really don't want Sharpshooter active when you run out of monsters, much as it hurts your transition between your groups. Feel free to use it multiple times per pull though, depending on how tanky the monster you're hunting is. Of course, as you get to the final 1 to 2 monsters, you want to transition into being your next pull to keep your attack output as constant as possible, so let Sharpshooter drop for this. I do believe there's room to incorporate AoE into this hunting style, I just have not explored enough to comment on it. I found for all the spawns that I've tried that 25% Life Leech was enough to maintain my health with the occasional GSP use, so with 50% I am sure there are more hunting styles and spawn options possible. It just was overkill for what I was doing. Also of note is while Sharpshooter is active, you want to be using Exori Khan and Exori Grand Khan, as these spells scale better with distance fighting levels than Exori Sand does. So that about does it for this Sharpshooter with Life Leech showcase. I hope you guys found it informative and helpful to increase your XP rates, and it sparked you to try new types of hunting that you may not have in the past. Also, I'd like to add that I don't claim to be the first person to have done this or tried to do this, it just was something I came up with one day when I was walking in the woods. I would really like to welcome everyone to contribute in a discussion of this technique, as I've really only tried this in combination with single target hunting up to level 180 to 200 range in only a few spawns. Alright, well thanks guys and have fun.